much for taking the time for us, and really appreciate you spending some time with us. And so let's get started. And so so just to give you quick background. So Sangeetha joined PayPal recently when I was at PayPal, and she, I saw that she just joined and messaged her. So we did some Slack messaging on through the PayPal, and then so that's how I kind of know Sangeetha. And then I was always like, Sangeetha, let's do someday. I want to know this product management. Even I want to figure out, because I'm a front end engineer, so I wanted to figure out how the whole thing. How do you actually get into So I think with further ado, I'm handing over the mic to Sangeetha, and Sangeetha, you can it's all yours now.
Thank you so much, Sachin. Yes, we were PayPal colleagues. Very happy to be here. Happy to give back to community. Sachin, would you allow
Sure,
me to?
absolutely. Okay, you should see what you should see that button now. Yes. So,
Thank you, Sachin. I hope you can see my screen, my presentation.
yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Sachin, again for welcoming me. So, how to break into PM is today's theme. And before we jump into that, just a little bit information about myself. As Sachin mentioned, I'm currently working as a technical product manager at PayPal. This is the way you can reach out to me. So coming into today's agenda, right? Let's have some agenda in today's call. So we will have an introduction, jobs to strategies, PM resources, my interview experience at PayPal, also my interview experience with other companies. As Sachin mentioned, definitely the fair share of failure stories, if you will allow me to convey that. And then definitely we will get into specific Q&As. So without delaying, so I try to summarize as much as possible in this one slide. So I'm a recent Cornell graduate, graduated in middle of pandemic. I could not stress enough my family support, my friend support. Graduating in the middle of pandemic, their jobs are less. You're graduating and you're an international student. Okay, so there is a lot of ambiguity during this May, June months. After navigating this ambiguity, I got into PayPal as a technical product manager. I'm currently working in the PayPal credit organization, supporting my backend engineers. Before coming to Cornell, I worked in Accenture and Capgemini. In the first year of my career at Accenture, I was even a backend developer. Slowly moved my profile into change manager, release manager, and moving into product role. That's one of the tracks I saw being very potentially appealing to me. So I got an opportunity to be a release manager. That's when I could see the end-to-end process of a product release. So that's where I was more interested in this product management role. So from there, stirred my career track into that direction, where later I was a product lead for 2 automation products, if you will. Then with Capgemini, I was a product lead for GE Energy. That was like a full stack product lead. I will get into the specifics later. Fun fact, yeah, I'm a professional scuba diver and I'm a ocean lover. So apart from that, I spend a lot of time cooking and trying this new cuisines and helping my dear PM community. That is what I do in the free time. So job search strategies. Most of you might be looking for a job who are present in this call. So job search strategy, job searching is difficult, and also it's different for each and every one of us. For someone with a 2-year degree, internship is one of the routes he or she can convert into full-time jobs. For someone like 1-year degree with me, where there is no internship, I had to connect with a lot of people in that span of 1 year, explain what are my passion, where do I want to work for, explain all this to the with that connection and navigate my way through in the industry. It can be that route. So basics of job search strategy, right? So you should have a solid resume. Your resume should speak what position you're applying to. It should not be like you have a business analyst or you have a software engineering resume and you're applying for a product manager role. No. So have your resume solid. If you're applying for a product manager role, you need to have certain keywords which will show that you are fit for that role. For example, you need to have keywords such as collaboration, stakeholder management, product strategy. So you need to have these kind of keywords that will show the recruiter that you have these skill sets, which will potentially get you an interview call. So have a solid resume. That is without saying, is by far the best advice I could give. Have a solid resume, and if you're applying for multiple roles, like suppose you're applying for a business analyst and you're applying for a product manager, make sure that those two resume don't look identical and is being separated with respect to key skill sets and the fair share of projects needs to be in a concise manner, so that the resume itself speak what role you're applying for. That is basics. And apart from that, I would say networking is by far, I would say, like 80% of your time should be with respect to networking and 20% should be with respect to applications. If you follow this kind of 80-20, some percentage of like 70-30 or 80-20 ruling, so you can channelize your time and energy better. So with respect to networking, right, I would say have a list of companies that you're interested in working for. Those lists can be those lists can be anything. It can be like, okay, this company's value proposition is something I like. For example, for PayPal, I really resonate with PayPal's mission and vision statement. So that was one of the considerations for me. So have those kind of targeted lists so that you can you can find people in LinkedIn and meet people in various conferences to have this networking and information interview sessions. That is very basic. Then application itself, obviously you need to keep on applying. Networking will do its fair share of work, but even after networking you have to apply. And last but not the least, practice. When you're applying, don't delay the practice until you get an interview call. You should prepare for your interview as well as you should apply for the interview at the same time. So these things should go hand in hand. So this is like very basic. If someone has to break it down to this minute level, I would break it down in this fashion. For
Sangeetha,
PM,
I'm sorry, I just sorry to interrupt. When you mean practice, what practice do we
practice for the interviews.
practice for it?
um,
Okay.
Practice for the interviews, so you know, for product, what type of an interviews you would be seeing. For, you know, for software engineering, what type of interviews you would be seeing. For software engineering, it's mainly like the coding, so you should be proficient in one programming language, and they will have coding tests, so make sure you practice for that. For PM, for product management, make sure you are practicing with respect to all your product management concepts, like product strategy, product sense, like behavioral questions. Practice in that sense for PM interviews. That is what I meant for practicing. So PM resources, hands down, these two books are my go-to books, and everyone in the industry as well. Cracking the PM interview, Decode and Conquer, even cracking the PM interview, no, the PM interview by Lewis Lim. There is a third book as well. So this is hands down, every product manager should read. So when you read this book before getting a job, and when you read this book after getting a job, it totally makes sense. Like before getting a job, if you're not being a product manager, you might assume certain things and you would go with the book. But once you become a product manager, once you are working in that field, when you read this Cracking the PM interview book, it totally makes sense with respect to the alignment strategy, with respect to how do you collaborate with your stakeholders. So I would suggest you keep this book, don't throw away after you get a PM role as well. Read it again and again if you want a refresher. These two books are by far the best, and it should be like your starting materials. There should be like 2 entry points for your PM interviewing resources. My interview experience, okay, it might be different. I would like to give an disclaimer over here. So it might be different with respect to the PayPal standard interviewing process, because I got this role after I networked with one of the senior directors. So I was able to connect with him. I was able to show that, okay, I am very interested in PayPal and PayPal ecosystem products. And the end state of me is to be a product leader in this industry. So he could see all this potential in me, and that's where he passed my resume to the hiring team. Then I got a call from the hiring manager. She wanted to gauge my interest, like what type of a product person I am. Am I a technical product person, or am I business product person? So when I say technical and business, right? So let's break it down. So when you're a technical product person, you have to understand the API changes. You have to understand how the data is integrated within various systems. So as I had a software engineering, backend engineering experience, so I was able to navigate this, and that's why I'm currently a technical product manager. I love this role. When you say a business PM, or you can put it as a go-to-market person PM. Like, for example, if you want to take your product to market, you need to have um, you need to have an alignment with your marketing, you need to have alignment with your legal, you need to have a go to market plan. So that's what is the difference I was categorized. Currently my role is to develop this awesome cool features in the backend, which is going to be like a long term features for this product. I have a counterpart. That product manager is going to be thinking through how the experience will look like. For example, like how email notification needs to be sent. What is the exact content of that email notification? So my counterpart looks with all this. When I was a full stack product lead, I was doing both for Capgemini. So it depends on company to company, role to role, that how your organization have set up for this PMs. So I had a call. She was able to assess my interest towards this technical PM, and that's when I got a final virtual on-site round. I had four interviewers for me. One was my current, one was my hiring, one was the hiring manager. Other one was the market PM, and other two were also very senior PM. So with respect to my interview experience, someone in the call just said in the beginning that they might not ask like PayPal's products. It's totally wrong. You should be knowing your like company's products. Yes, you should know basics of it. They will not know, they will not expect that you know everything about that product, but you should know if my product is in credit, or it's in checkout, or it's in payments. So you should know the basics of it, like where is my product organized, what does my product do, like future product, like if you're working for that team. So what is this product doing? Which audience is it catering to? What are its like entry points, and what are the systems it might be interacting with? So you should have a basic sense of this. So for example, like if you are interviewing for Amazon Alexa, you will have some kind of a no, basic sense. Okay, like for Alexa, what and all we need, like okay, let's see, we need the natural processing language. So who the end users might be the customers. For credit product, okay, who are these end users? It might be merchants, and it might be even consumers. So you need to differentiate the customer segment. You should have that. That's what is like product sense. Coming to my next point, that is what is the product sense. You should know who are the stakeholders, who is the end user for this product, and where this product usually lie within the organization. So it's just a general product sense. Then product improvements, like I have got a question saying that okay, you are in the payments checkout, and how do you improve this flow? So obviously there will be questions on that. Product strategy. Product strategy is okay, your product is today, it stands here, your product. Okay, how do you evolve your product? Okay, if there is another COVID, how do you tackle that situation? It's all based on the hypothetical future scenarios is the product strategy. I would categorize it into that bucket. Also in product strategy, you need to talk about a lot of this. How do you generate revenue? How do you improve your product again? So you need to be very well versed with respect to product strategy. This is a key skill set in the product management role, because you will be constantly thinking about evolving your product, because you won't be like, okay, I'm going to build this product and I'm going to leave it. No, right? You're going to be thinking, obviously, how can I make it better? In each and every iteration, you will be thinking on this. So that's a very key skill to have. And finally, I had a technical sense interview. They asked me, okay, about, okay, what's the difference between REST APIs and SOAP, and overall, like, what do you know about data integrations? if you have data in one system, how do you bring it to into our system, and how do you process it? You need to think about normalization. So basically, with this technical sense of interview, I was able to nail it based on my previous experience as a backend engineer. So if you are in the technical space, make sure you are reviewing your experience. Make sure you give some thought over there. And needless to say, in this, I had a lot of behavioral questions as well, because mostly in PayPal, right, the conversation, the interview is more of a conversation. For me, it was more of a conversation. They were like, tell me about time where you had to deliver things very quickly against a lot of limitations. There were some constraints. How did you deliver this product? So needless to say, behavioral questions should be the topmost that one should prepare for. So this overall interview experience was within like 1 month from starting to day zero, if you count as a senior director's call. Then 1 week later, I had the hiring manager call, and then by day 30, my interview process with the virtual onsite was completed. And immediately I like within next few days, I got a result that I was selected for this team. I was very happy and called my parents, friends, and thanked everyone for all the support. So let's get into Q&As. I want to hear from you guys. I know I gave a lot of information, but let's get into the specific questions that you guys want to hear from me.
Hi, Sangeetha. First of all, I would like to congratulate you to get this job during the pandemic. I know it is difficult. And I would like to know from you about the product manager program for the university graduates in the PayPal. Because when I attended GSC, I attended a session with Shivani Banerjee, who was lead product manager there, and she was guiding us through the program, saying that even if you are in technical field, this is a good way for you to explore this program specifically for graduates, because you will get trained and then you will be transformed to the actual product manager role. So I would like to more about that. Like to know more about the program, and if there are any ways to proceed with the things, because I have applied to the role, but I'm not sure how to go forward or who to connect with.
Sure. So typically, even I was a GHC attendant, even I was part of that group. Typically, the university grad roles, right? Once you apply, recruiters review. Recruiters review would have started reviewing from September, and they would be still reviewing until March or so. You should be hearing from them if the requirements for that role matches with your profile. You should be hearing from the recruiter. That is what standard PayPal recruitment guidelines have instructed upon me.
Okay, thank you.
Sangeetha, can you talk about good resources to learn more about PayPal's products or different product teams within PayPal?
Sure. So PayPal has like a business resource center where I did a lot of research on for my product. So, for example, PayPal checkout or recent PayPal's releases, you can check out in paypal.com business resources center. So over there, you will get a brief understanding. So that is one of the resources I used for my interview prep. And also follow this product leaders. Suppose you're interested in PayPal, right? Follow the product leaders inside the PayPal group. They would be very socially active in LinkedIn. Similarly for other companies as well. Everybody is active these days. Like, okay, we are releasing this feature. PayPal recently got into crypto. They would make this announcement. So just follow them to understand the like what are the know-hows in recent developments of that product. Apart from that, I would give one insider tip which I was following. So suppose you have an interview with some company like X company, make sure you make sure you have a Google alert for that X company, so that any time that X company is in news, you would get a consolidated list of news from Google to your email. That's a very good way to make sure you are up to date with the company's developments.
Those are very useful suggestions, and it's been a very insightful session. Thanks a lot, Sangeetha.
Sure.
Sangeetha, I have a quick question. So you had the background, you had experience, so it was a little bit easier, I would say, for you. But let's say rest of us, we don't have that experience. Like maybe internship, maybe just MS. How do you then like call yourself product manager? Like what do you put in the resume? What do you do? Like, you don't have any experience whatsoever. Like, how do you show that, so that's
Yeah, definitely a very valid question, Sachin. So, for just a recent graduate with no experience, person with a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, he or she should be looking for getting this internship opportunities during the summer or during even winter. I did one of the internship opportunity at Cornell, one of the company called Giga. Even though I had experience, I did that internship opportunity so that I could understand the US work culture, and I could understand like how like products work in US. So it was a very different experience. So any internship opportunities you could just grab it. Make sure you take relevant coursework. If you have some product management or business coursework during your master's or bachelor's program, make sure you take that. Like I had like a bunch of product management courses for engineering management. So that was very helpful for me. Then and once you take those kind of coursework, right, you can build a portfolio using like academic projects. So that is also another way. With respect to academic projects, you can showcase you have done these skills. So make sure you take those coursework, and you make sure you able to pull off that skill set and show it in the resume.
Adding on to that, Sangeetha, one thing which was additional, let us say, for example, I've graduated this year in May 2020. Now, my internship was with one of the edtech companies in Boston. It went for around 10 months overall, but the role was business intelligence analyst. Now, this role is, like very cross-functional as well, in the sense that it is very collaborative in nature. You get to talk to many different internal organizations, and then you gather their requirements, you create visualizations, etc. And earlier before that, I had two experiences which are more on the business analyst side of things, so the same side, like on the functional side of things.
Yeah.
Now, since I do not have the opportunity to go back to college, take those courses, or kind of like have an internship opportunity, I'm looking for a full time. If I had to leverage this particular background and make it into like a product analyst or a associate product manager, the entry level product management role, how would I go about doing that?
So that time, Anant, you would be showcasing those transferable skills from business analyst or business intelligence role to this product analyst or product manager interview. So you would basically showcase that, okay, you have done this cross-functional work, you have done this stakeholder alignment, you were basically able to explain your engineers what product to build. So you would take all these transferable skills and put it in the resume, and you would talk the same in the interview as well, saying that, okay, yeah, definitely there, like I was a business analyst, but these are the transferable skills I will be bringing to this role. So I would say in product interviews, right, just be explicit. See, not everybody, not every organization did have product role before. But most of the companies did have, but some of the companies like don't have. They have a different name for a product manager. Just be explicit about that. When my hiring manager asked me this question, I told, yeah, I was a release manager. So in consulting companies, this is how the process works. But when I come to your organization, I would bring this additional skill set, and this is how I would be approaching or tackling the problem. So that mindset, right, he really liked it. So he understood that I was able to differentiate between the processes. He was like consulting is a different process, product in US is a very different process. So he was able to understand that. That is how we resonated and we clicked. So be explicit about your past experience. Be don't shy away from a past experience just because you didn't have a product manager title. You would have, if you are in this cross-functional domains, you would have done most of this transferable product management skills. Just highlight that and showcase it.
So
Thank you for that.
just Sangeetha, so he can like actually put in his resume as a product analyst, and then just whatever he did and put that, or he should put his actual title.
Title is like a little bit gray area over here. So if yeah, what I am saying is, in the resume points, make sure you have those transferable skills written in that resume points. So even if he was a business intelligence analyst, but if he would have done this cross-functional alignment, talking to his engineers, if he's done those product skill work, explicitly mention over there, this is the transferable skill I would be getting out of this role.
How did one had this, like, how did you decide, like, PayPal, that you targeted these companies? For most of us, we're like, whoever gives the job, I'm gonna go. I don't really care, right?
Yeah.
I need the money to pay my rent. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Even
how
I'm
did
also in the student loan, and yeah, basically we have bills to pay. I
right?
totally get it. Uh, for me, targeting specific companies really worked. For me, I wanted to like get into um, a big four firm, because I had been working in Accenture and Capgemini, so that's a very large organization. So I know my strengths are handling various different teams. So I knew that from the beginning. Okay, so with that top funnel, I was able to navigate somewhere, and I wanted to get into this tech industry. That is another filtering condition I have put. I was not interested in other automobile or healthcare, but I was mainly interested in technology companies. That's the filter condition I had put, and also upon that, I was able to narrow down few of the companies. I would say how you should be aware of your you should be aware of your environment. So when I say environment, during pandemic, I was vigilant which are the companies which are hiring, because during pandemic, May, June, some of the companies stopped hiring, right? So I was vigilant enough to make sure, follow the news, follow the trends of this tech companies. Where is it going? like with that, I was able to fetch a call from Amazon. With that, I was able to fetch a call from PayPal, and later I was able to fetch a call from Microsoft even. So making sure which company is hiring at which time is something that we students need to develop. If you ask me, Sachin, that is a key point on which company to apply.
You said some filter, like, but where, which where did you apply this filter? Like any
Filter
website?
as in like like you have a broad sense like which technology sector you would be working, right? So you understand, okay, I am going to be working in the healthcare sector, I'm going to be working in automobile sector. So I would suggest everyone, if you have, otherwise if you're agnostic to the industry, that is also well and good. For me, this targeted approach worked well. For somebody else, like talking to a person just by randomly clicking with one person, that would help. So that's what I give a disclaimer in the beginning. Everyone's job interview experience is going to look different. It won't be like it's like a fingerprint. Like everything is unique with respect to job search.
Guys, quick, I just sent you guys a link. I don't know if you guys are aware of, and I think Sangeetha, in this line, on the last side, you put that in the article you wrote. So this has the number of companies that are hiring right now. So if you look at on the right side, you'll see a link which says, now hiring. So you should look at it.
Hey, hey Sangeetha, first of all, congrats for getting this job. It gives me a lot of hope being an F1 student myself, and with everything going on, it gives me hope that we can still get some opportunities. I had like a more general question. So for someone, I guess, since we're all in the same boat, we don't really have family members or a list of other people that we could connect to that could get us into a job, right? So how would I go about networking without seeming too needy or begging for a job? Like if you have like a very specific strategy
Okay.
on that.
Totally. I was also in the same boat. Like I'm also a first gen like person in the United States. No family member. I just have few friends, especially like my undergrad friends who have come before me. I just know them. That's it. So I'm also in the same boat. Sudeep, if you ask me. So fortunately in US, people have this pay forward mentality, like how I am doing right now. Okay, I want to give back to community. So this kind of mentality is there in US. I'm so grateful for that. So many people want to give back to community, and that's why they would accept your LinkedIn connection. So I would say step by step approach, if you ask me, right? Send them a LinkedIn connection, or if you have met during some conference or some meetup, or even some kind of a social setting like this, send them the LinkedIn connection. Make sure they have you have send your brief introduction in that LinkedIn connection message. Specialize it and customize that LinkedIn message so that they feel interested in accepting you. Once they accept, follow up with them, because not everybody is like kind of busy with their life. COVID is there right now. There is a family or kids will be there 24/7, so they would not have total attention to LinkedIn if they were in office. So send them another reminder message saying that, okay, hey Sudeep, I connected with you the previous day. I wanted to introduce myself again over here. I give your introduction that time, and then request them to a call, an information interview with them to learn more experience about them. So instead of asking for a job directly, make sure you learn about them and the company they're working for. Understand where they're coming, and during the call, if they offer you to refer you or put your word to hiring manager, well and good. If they do not do until the end of the call, you can ask, okay, what is the best way for your company, for my application to get noticed at your company? So you should be direct enough, but not like needy enough. That is what I would put forward the statement as. So make sure you are able to ask them what is the best way to get my resume noticed. If they say, okay, referral will help, then you politely request them, can you refer me to this role? I can provide more information if you want, some more information if you want about me. I can share my portfolio or my GitHub link. I can do that if you want that credibility. Make sure you have that bond when you have this information interview. That is where I would ask a lot of you guys, like, have a call with them. I know setting up a call and keeping a track would be really difficult, but if you are able to finish off in this message or in a conversation, well and good. But mostly with the conversation, you cannot express how I am expressing with you right now, right? You can hear my tone. You can hear, like, okay, I have the sense of like, I want to help people. So in that kind of a tone, you should be able to convey what you're feeling about the job search and how you want to get into their company. That excitement you should show, and that's when you can, like, with all these, you are able to convey to that person, like, okay, I would require a referral or a word from the hiring manager from you. Can you help me over there? So that's how I would say one should go ahead with that. So networking in US is very easy, if you ask me. um like, I had LinkedIn account in India as well. Like, I didn't network much. Whatever connection I have made, it's all from within, when I came to States. And people are very generous over here. Some people are very generous. They would definitely give a helping hand for sure.
Thank you.
Hi, hi, Sangeetha. I have a question. Like, I'm a new graduate. Like, I would be graduating in the upcoming May of 2021. And as far as my experience is concerned, I don't have a relevant full-time experience, but I do carry internship experience in as a business intelligence or a data analyst role, which sums up to about a year. And for many of the entry level roles at majority of the companies, they seek out for the 2 year or 3 year experience, which I cannot definitely cater to. Also, so what's the one way to work around? Like, I've been doing projects related to it. I have a GitHub portfolio and all of it. I've tailored my resume according to the positions. Still, the application doesn't get noticed. I've been trying out the cold mails. Now it's slowly starting to they respond. As far as the PayPal is concerned, which would be like the best time to apply in order to get a full-time role for upcoming May?
Upcoming May, the best bet would be, right now, the best bet would be the university grad roles. So university grad roles, it's you apply, as I said before, you apply, the recruiters will start reviewing the applications. And when they see a right fit or a right match, they would definitely contact you. I didn't see for university, like, they would definitely contact if they see there was a match for your profile. So with some of the university grad roles would not require like 2 to 3 years of experience, so apply accordingly. So having that sense of application is also important here again.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, like, what's the main timeline when they usually review these applications at PayPal for the new university grad roles or any of
Yeah,
the other
for
full-time
PayPal,
roles?
what I have heard from my recruiters is, it's an ongoing review they do. They started in the month of September, and they would be continuing until all positions get filled up. If positions do not get filled up, they would be looking until summer as well. So it's an ongoing process. So they would definitely review, just apply over there and make sure your resume is tailored. Definitely, if they see fit, they are definitely gonna call you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just a tip on like networking. I've been like doing networking for like 20 years here in US. So I know a few things here. So first of all, like right now, LinkedIn is little crowded channel. So my thing is just like Sangeetha is, let's say she's into scuba diving, right? So I would say go offline and then come back like online, right? So first, like if it's much easier if you just attend it virtual. So there are meetups for everything. Product in your cities, there is meetup for product development. Go there, or like right now it's virtual, attend. So it's much easier when you say, hey, I heard your talk, or I saw you attended this. There is some context, right? Right now, if you just, it's going to be really hard, right? The channel is crowded. Everybody's looking for it. So that's one. Just look for what you do. Like if she's into scuba diving, see if there is a scuba diving group, and then maybe try to network, like then find out what company they work for, and then try to come back from there, right? Instead of directly. That's one, number one. There's a organization called Tide. It's called the Indus Entrepreneur. So it's mostly like Indians, although we should not call it. It's a so they have the events. There are a lot of people who try. So go to like Thai events, Thai events. So those do that, and like do everything else right now. Like, and even if you don't, if you're like, let's say if you're not graduated, this is the best time. And like right now, just start networking. It means not networking just to get a job, but overall it also will help you in the life. Just and also like just don't just see if everybody needs some value. So add some value. If somebody you're trying to meet, just you have to develop some context, right? So that's, I would say that's so that networking is important. So, but anyways,
Also, Sachin, if I would add one more point, right? Uh, Make sure you, when you're networking, right, make sure you keep that connection alive. Like once you've got a referral, does not mean like, okay, I need to forget that person. But if you find a real connection with that person, like kind of update him. Okay, I didn't get like, for suppose you didn't get a interview call with this company, even though with referral, but you got somewhere else. Just update him like normally. Okay, I didn't get with your company, but I got in this company. But I would, if you have some time, can you take my mock interview? Some kind of a relationship building is also required in networking. It does not mean like, okay, you got what you wanted, you can just abandon that. That's a very bad thing. Make sure you with some connection, at least. I know with all your 1,000 or 2,000 connections, you might not be able to like maintain that bond, but for some connections you would understand that they went out of their way to help you. Just try to ask, like build that relationship. Even like simple ask, how's everything in this COVID situation, because everybody's still coping up. It's been it's pandemic has been there, but still we are all coping up. So make sure you ask the small things and build that relationship, because that is going to be there for a long time if you have decided to be in this industry.
Yeah. Networking is a big topic, but I mean, look everywhere. Like, I mean, so, and you have to be a little bold. Like, I go to gym, I talk to, because if I need a job, I'm going to talk to everyone. I'm working on with someone with next door. It's like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Like, and because you don't know where he works and like what he can do for you. So,
Exactly, Sachin. I would second that.
And also like go through like not only that, but look at like things we don't actually typically look at. Look at your brother. If you have brother, your father, the older the person is, the more like experienced person he might have a connection. But unfortunately, that's the truth. The older you get, the seniority level you get, and more power you have or hiring, right? So look at your father's friend who is in US. try tapping everything, because that sometimes we miss whatever is near and dear to us. Your brother, your sister, your cousin, might somebody living in US. See if they can connect you, because if you go cold, it's going to be very hard. Like, you need a warm introduction. So look at everybody in your network for you, and especially your closest connection, and try to jump from there. I think that'll be much easier way, I think.
I see Subhash is there here. Subhash was my cat teacher when I was in India. When I was, I remember you, Subhash. So he was my cat math teacher. Definitely, a lot of your skills, a lot of your teachings with respect to cat and whatnot have helped me crack the GRE, and I'm here right now. Thank you so much. How are you, Subhash? You're on mute. Cannot hear you. So he was my cat teacher. So I was having plans for an MBA. But then I realized I want to be in the technical industry itself. So what is the best, what is that something which will help me? This was during my first year of my Accenture. So at that time I was still navigating what is the right role for me. Then I got into this release management, and that's how I was able to navigate into product. But during that first year, I was still looking at MBA or MS and US. So still debating on that. So that is when I enrolled for CAT. And how are you, Subhash?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's been more than four,
Good to see
5
you after a
years.
long time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
4,
5,
5
6
years,
years
right?
almost. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I have a question. So basically, now I'm looking to get into this product management. So as you know already, I have a very different experience. So I'm a mechanical engineer, and then for 3 years I was in manufacturing sector, and from the last 4, 5 years I was into this training people. So now I want to get into product management. As a starter pack, I would say I have done my CSPO certification to get a overall understanding how it works,
That's
the
nice.
whole thing. So when I was going through the certification, it was a 2-day workshop. So most of the role and responsibility I could very much correlate, as I have a good exposure towards the business. But my doubt is, without any technical experience, like on the tech side, like zero literally. I had no coding experience, nothing. So how much is it possible for me to land up in a product owner role? And what do you think? As you mentioned, that book I have started reading, Cracking the PM Interview. It's been giving me a lot of insights. So what else I can do so that I can land up in a good product owner? And in general, like whatever you have come across, did you see any person like this with completely different background in product owner?
You are unique. You are unique, Subhash, no doubt. In that sense, you are helping
Yeah.
a lot of students, and definitely your background is unique. So at one point, like I would bring your attention to you is PO PM is having a little bit gray area, but two different parts. Product owner is mostly like, okay, you are going to be involved in the scrum activities, you are in this making sure the development work is going right. So with product manager, you do have some intersection of that, but as a product manager, you would be having an entire eye on the product, firstly, and you would be thinking strategically with respect to, okay, how do I evolve my product, and how do I see the requirements changing when other team is also looking at building this product and integrating with this product. So what are those changes I also need to incorporate so that this product is successful. So there is a little bit gray area, I would say. So having that PO and PM distinguishing, very important. Okay, very, very important. Some of the roles, like even I do have sprint planning meetings. Even I do a little bit on the PO job as well. So it all depends on organization to organization. So for my team, right, I work very closely with engineering folks. So I don't have to track their Jira tickets, but I don't even have to create their user stories as in the Jira, but I create the user stories in the product requirement document, and they just put it in the Jira. So it all depends on company to company and role to role. So with me, right, I create a product requirement document, have stakeholder alignment with various partner teams, make sure my engineering team understand what they need to build. And I think about long term with respect to product strategy, what I need to bring in, what are those additional points that I need to bring in for my product to evolve and meet the long term needs. And I work with a go-to-market person. The go-to-market person will essentially give all the content and content writing. Email should look like this. Legal is saying this is the requirement. So that's you get to work with a lot of the stakeholders, right? So even in your previous role, you would have also done various cross-functional communications. So because we are in such a world, we would be interacting with many teams. So I would say for you who have this number of years of experience, you would have also had this kind of a specific interactions with different teams. At that time, what did you do? What is the key thing you were able to grab out of that project? Make sure you highlight in the resume over there. Then you might have been an engineer yourself and you work with various other engineers. That engineer to engineer conversation, how can it translate to product to engineering conversation? Try to get that in the resume as well. And then make sure how you were able to like teach many of these students like me, how what are the key transferable skills you would also bring with that experience. So I would say get those have those in your resume, and speak with have a networking sessions, have this informational interviews. Definitely people are willing to help, and they would be, if there is a suitable job out there for you, you would definitely get a call and you'll get hired as a PO or a PM over there.
Sure.
Sangeetha, I have a quick question. If everybody on call, and I think we have like 2-3 people dropped off, so now I think we're left 1, 2, for 6 people. If everybody on call sent you their resume and said, "Hey, Sangeetha, can you refer us?" How would you go about it? Like, who would you choose to refer? And like, I mean, so that they understand if they send, I want to get in your mind.
Get it. So everybody on call would send me their resumes. So what I would do is understand, like go through their resume and see what is the position they're applying for. And I would have a directional sense on the skill sets, and I would have directional sense on what they're saying in the resume. So if that matches, I would be more than happy to refer. If that does not match, I would not give a false sense. I would say, okay, take back your resume. This is what I think. The resume, you're not able to showcase your transferable skills. You are not able to. This skill is missing. Have you done something project with the skill? Try to add that. So I would send their resume back to them so that they would refine it and then get back to me with the position. I would definitely would like to refer to them. But remind you, with respect to university grad roles, I can refer, but recruiters do see each and every application once you have put in inside PayPal. They do their job with reviewing each application. So it might not be that helpful, but if you want me to still go ahead and refer you, I would do that. If that gives you a self-satisfaction, I would still do that. But make sure your resume is tailored. My only criteria is that. And also, I would like to speak to that person to understand why PM, because some of the folks might be just like would not understand why PM exactly. They just want to get into PM industry because it's hot right now. Product managers are like very hot. Just these buzzwords, right? ML, PM. So make sure you really have the passion for that, because ultimately what keeps you up in the morning is your passion. Morning I get up, have my coffee, and I log in because I'm passionate towards this job. Make sure you're passionate to being a product manager or any role. Make sure you are passionate for that role. That is what will keep you up and running, and that is what which makes you excel in that role. That's how I would like to conclude, Sachin.
I guess I think we have more time. I think thank you, Sangeetha. Thanks for taking so much time to explain. I think if somebody on whoever is left on call, what she made a lot of sense. You have to like really and I have the recording and I'll probably post it, send it to you guys. Make sure you listen to it again, because I think she made a lot of sense. So sometimes you think like, hey, but I think she made a lot of sense. So thank you, Sangeetha, for sharing insight. And if they have to reach you, I guess, do they have your contact somewhere?
I can give my email ID over here.